Welcome to the LEGO Battlebots Losers League. 32 bots enter, 32 of the poorer bots enter, and only 17 will survive to see Season 4. Keep in mind, any bot with a 3-2 record at the end of the tournament or better will survive, while the 10, 2, and 3 bots at the end will battle it out in a single elimination bracket to see who will get the final spot for currently existing bots in Season 4. And kicking things off, we have a great fight between Subzero and Talon. Now, both these bots have proved that they are pretty capable. In both bots, I believe, made a turn before. Subzero definitely has, I believe Talon has as well. Oh, but they did not do well at all last season. Subzero made the Desperado semifinals. Talon also did poorly at 1 and 3. And they're fighting off to see who will get the first step towards surviving. Talon, of course, has the better ground game, though those forks are pretty fragile as we've seen before, but that is a very powerful weapon. And though Subzero can take some shots, but that durability may be a problem. Let's go down to the arena to see the Losers League begin. Let the Losers League begin. Talon getting underneath Subzero as we expected, and already ripping the tip off of the flipper. Talon off to a good lead so far, flipping Subzero, but Subzero quick to self-right, and now Talon tears a wheel off of Subzero. That is not good for the flipper at all. They're down to edge, they're down to wheel, and they are already starting to fall apart. Right, getting a win in the first round is critical, makes your life a whole lot easier going into the next 4 rounds. And Talon just continuing to land blows. Subzero not really able to get around to the side or do anything to Talon, but that's a huge shot, and Subzero splits in half. The countdown has started, and Talon will take the first victory and its first step towards surviving.
Knockout.
That was a complete domination from Talon. That was exactly what they wanted to do. Get underneath, hit Subzero a bunch of times, break off the front wheels, and get the knockout. And that is exactly what they did. Subzero did not have a response at all. And while Talon is in a good position at 1-0, Subzero will have to win 3 of its next 4 fights in order to survive. Next up, we have a match between 2 angled horizontal spinners, Crypt and Jade Dragon. Neither bots has obviously done too well. In Season 3 was Jade Dragon's worst performance yet, going 1-3 instead of the usual 2-2, but Crypt, after going 2-2 in Seasons 1 and 2, had an abysmal 0-4 finish last season. Yeah, these two definitely need to get some kind of wins here in order to survive. And both bots have pretty capable weapons, I guess. I mean, Crypt is definitely the more powerful weapon, but Jade Dragon also has that lifter, which comes in handy since Crypt cannot self-right or drive inverted. But let's see what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots getting their weapons up to speed. Ooh, nice little collision to start things off. Another weapon-to-weapon exchange, but neither weapon really getting too much recoil, sending either bot flying. But Jade Dragon trying to use that lifter, trying to get Crypt upside down. So I was talking about, they have an extra weapon that Crypt does not, and their below average ground clearance could come in hand, could still be better than Crypt's, as now they get Crypt on its face, and that is gonna be it. Jade Dragon backing off, and Crypt is getting counted out, making it their 5th loss in a row in the past 2 competitions.
Knockout.
Well, neither bot was able to do much with their spinners, which was terrible for Crypt because that's their weapon, but Jade Dragon didn't really care because it had that lifter in reserve, which it used to pretty decent effect. I mean, they were able to get Crypt on their face, and that was enough for the knockout victory. Jade Dragon advances to 1-0, while Crypt falls to 0-1. Our third fight sees a match between 2 very powerful spinners, Unnecessary Violence and Apex. Now, one of these has had significantly more success than the other. Both bots made it to the tournament in Season 1, but Unnecessary Violence was able to make it to the round of 16, where it lost to eventual champion Bite Force, while Apex lost to Thunderbolt in the first round. Both bots, though, fell off kind of after that. Unnecessary Violence did okay in Season 2, while Apex completely fell apart. They weren't even accepted for Season 3. They had to go through Challengers, which they lost there to Cherry Blossom, so they didn't get to even participate in Season 3 in the first place. As for Unnecessary Violence, they were able to make it to Season 3, but a 1-3 finish was not good enough, and now they stand here facing each other. Unnecessary Violence is not the best and most durable bot, but Apex is known for blowing itself up in these kind of competitions. So let's see which weapon is able to take the win here down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots bring their mighty weapons up to speed, and it's a little shot to things off. Unnecessary Violence seems to be absorbing more of the energy directly into itself, but Apex's bar has already broken. Yep. Reliability is not Apex's middle name. We know that by now, and you should not be surprised that this has happened. Well, now Apex is fighting with a broken weapon against an Unnecessary Violence who is basically perfectly fine. Apex still trying to spin up that weapon, though that's really not going to do much. Unnecessary Violence actually lands a decent shot on the other side of the blade, able to take a bit of control there, and now rips off another piece of Apex, now trying to get them into the screws. They appear to have done so, and yep, Apex is gonna get jammed in there. Not a good start for Apex at all, and Unnecessary Violence continues the attack. Again, they are just wobbling all around, and now Unnecessary Violence lands the kill shot. Apex stuck in the worst place possible between the pit wall and the screw mount, and they are done for.
3, 2, 1, knockout.
Well, Apex did an Apex and lost its blade. It was surprisingly durable in this fight. It didn't rip itself in half. Yeah, Apex, there is a reason it didn't have any wins after Season 1. I mean, Unnecessary Violence just took control, just bided time. It was really able to do whatever it wanted. It even got Apex into the screws on one occasion, and eventually just got them stuck. It took the win, and advancing to 1-0. Next up, a match between two bots that lost in Challengers, and we haven't seen since then. Captain Shrederator and Standalone. Standalone big wedge, but they didn't have the right ground clearance, and the Elementals, led by Lightning, were able to take them out. Meanwhile, Captain Shrederator was surprisingly thrown out by Venom Strike. Again, in Challengers match, their Venom Strike's forks held on long enough for that, and now they stand against each other, and it's not looking good for Captain Shrederator. Standalone is a vertically built wedge bot. Horizontal spinners do not like vertically built bots most of the time. And Captain Shrederator does not have the weapon power of Nemesis, the full-body spinner, who was able to tear Standalone apart, though it did take a lot of effort to do so. So yeah, heavily in favor of one of these bots, but let's see what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Oh, Captain Shrederator actually gets a good shot on the side of Standalone's wedge, but Standalone gets that wedge underneath now, and sending Captain Shrederator flying and flipping them over. Yeah, Standalone backing away. They have this fight won. The countdown has started, and Shrederator will be falling to 0-1, while Standalone moves back up to an even overall record.
Knockout.
Well, Captain Shrederator got the first shot, but Standalone did what we expected after that, getting some great pops in and sending Captain Shrederator flying and flipping them over, leading to the knockout victory for Standalone. Fight number 5 sees two drum spinners take each other on. Blue Flame and Minotaur. Minotaur, a rookie heading into Season 3, they won their Challengers fight against Sunflower, and then they proceeded to go 1-3 with their only win being over Arctic Wind, who was not the epitome of success. Now Minotaur is back for fighting for its life in the Losers League and taking on a bot we haven't seen since Challengers, Blue Flame. Blue Flame lost the first ever Challengers match to Inverse, and that put them at an overall 1-7 record, which I can imagine they are not too happy about. They're obviously looking to change that here, and we've got two very decent and powerful weapons in the arena. It's just that Blue Flame lacks reliability and Minotaur lacks ground game, so neither of these bots are really able to deliver their weapons as much as they would like. Let's see what will happen down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots swing up the drums, and not a big shot kicks off with. Oh, Blue Flame nearly got Minotaur in the pit there. Already, the Battlebots Explain Machine off to a good start. Right, and continuing to attack, continuing to get underneath Minotaur. Oh, but there goes a side panel, and now Minotaur gets flipped upside down as well. Blue Flame taking the early lead in this fight, which is not something that would be seriously expected in most fights at this rate with Blue Flame's record. And now both bots get flipped, but Minotaur is truly invertible, rips off the wedge of Blue Flame, and suddenly this fight has turned on its head. Now neither bot has the ground game advantage, but looks like Minotaur's drum does appear to be lower actually. But the other side panel comes off, and the drum of Minotaur is barely attached on one side. Though it is now it's getting some good engagements, but now both bots get sent flying. But Minotaur doesn't really care about getting flipped over. Blue Flame most certainly does as they get sent flying. Oh, another great shot. Oh my god! Oh, Blue Flame flying again. Minotaur continues the attack. Oh my god, what a shot from Minotaur. Blue Flame nearly sent out camera range with that one whenever they're continuing to spin their drum even while upside down, and Minotaur is absolutely loving that as they get to send Blue Flame the highest I think we've seen any bot launch another bot with a vertical spinner. What a shot there. Minotaur fling Blue Flame around like it was nothing, and sure, Blue Flame is not the heaviest of bots by a long margin, but Minotaur, we have not seen it show this much power in that weapon. We haven't been able to see it be delivered this effectively, but Blue Flame lands a counter shot, but Minotaur going right back on the attack. And it appears Blue Flame's drum has stopped working, or at least for the most part. It's definitely not as strong as it used to be, and Minotaur's is still going full bore as they try to get Blue Flame out of the arena, and they do. Blue Flame took control in the early go, but that did not last long. Though they could have ended that fight on one of the first engagements. They nearly got Minotaur into the pits, but unfortunately for them, failed to do so, and despite ripping off a panel of Minotaur, and actually even able to rip off more armor later in the fight, they lost their wedge, and after that shot there, they got flipped. And once they lost their wedge, things turned significantly for the worse for Blue Flame. Minotaur really started to take control from there, and Minotaur was able to get significant engagement underneath that drum of Blue Flame, and was able to send them flying. I mean, that's Blue Flame spinning the right way. Its drum spinning the right way there. It wasn't spinning the drum back. What would be the right way when it was raised up? It was spinning. It was spinning the right way, and it just got sent flying. I mean, these were some of the biggest shots from a vert to a vert I think we have ever seen, nearly out of camera range, and just punting Blue Flame as well. Well, after Blue Flame got flipped for the first time, Minotaur took complete control of that fight and showed us a weapon we have not seen before, and they take the win. Moving on to a very interesting match, Thunderbolt versus Extinguisher. Thunderbolt, former 4th place from back in Season 1, made it to the round of 16 Season 2, and then completely fell off in Season 3. 3 losses. It didn't even get a 4th fight It lost its first 2 fights, got mauled by Duck and Whiplash. Sure, no shame in losing to Whiplash, but I would imagine they should have beaten Duck in most scenarios. And then they got fossilized in the first round at Desperado, and they got absolutely humiliated. They have certainly been replaced as the Flipper King by Mannerheim, the current champion, and now they are fighting for their lives. Meanwhile, Extinguisher has been on a dramatic decline as well since Season 2. Season 2, they actually were able to achieve their dream of making the tournament, making it even to the round 16 before being knocked out by Siege Engine. But in Season 3, things did not go well. They finished 0-4, and that is not good for them at all. Well, both bots have combined 7 losses between them over the past season, and now who knows what's going to happen. Extinguisher, you'd think, has the wedge advantage, certainly, but Thunderbolt, this is Thunderbolt we're talking about. One flip, and Extinguisher could be shattered. Let's find out what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Extinguisher gets underneath Thunderbolt in the first shot, rips off the flipper tip, but Thunderbolt is able to get underneath, lands a massive flip, but Extinguisher, though badly cracked in the middle, is still alive, though upside down, and well, Thunderbolt has landed 2 flips in its past 4 fights, and it has won 1 of them just right now. It sent Extinguisher the wrong way out of the arena. Next up, we have technically a mirror match. Glitch versus the other Glitch. Indeed, truly one of the fights of all time. Unfortunately for the other Glitch, if they win this fight, they will not get the true Glitch name. That will happen if they defeat Thunderbolt, which is certainly possible in this tournament, but they do need to win this fight. And I believe they are certainly capable of doing so. Season 3, personally, I believe, was kind of just a fluke. I mean, they fought Riptide, and Riptide Sawblaze, not an easy lineup with certain bots. And as for Glitch, the actual Glitch, which is not the actual Glitch, you figure it out, has not had the greatest performance, just overall 4-7, and they in fact have lost to Thunderbolt. So I'm pretty sure the other Glitch should be able to take this win here, but let's find out down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both weapons get up to speed, and the other Glitch gets underneath Glitch, flipping Glitch over. Now the other Glitch boxing Glitch into the corner. Now Glitch is stuck in the worst possible place. We've seen this before, between the pit wall and the screw mount. That place is a death trap, and it will be once again for Glitch.
2, 1, knockout.
The other Glitch won the battleground game, flipped Glitch over, put Glitch into the wall. A very good start towards reclaiming their name and reclaiming their place in LEGO Battlebots. As for Glitch, yeah, they're not good. Now we see a match between Lunar New Year and Witch Doctor. Lunar New Year was Season 1's number 5 seed, and it kind of fell off pretty quickly after that. Hasn't made the tournament since 1-3 in Season 3. As for Witch Doctor, he made the 30 seed in Season 1, made it all the way up to the 14 seed in Season 2, but really fell off in Season 3 with that new design. It was designed to give them better advantage in the ground game, and it kind of did, but also made them incredibly fragile. The previous design was fairly durable, and this is not at all. But Lunar New Year is also not the paragon of reliability, so who knows? Let's find out what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Witch Doctor getting underneath Lunar New Year and ripping the wedge off. Already not a great start for Lunar New Year, but Witch Doctor arguably has it worse, as one of their wheels and their weapon has come off already. Yeah, Witch Doctor is not durable. I mean, only the back half of the chassis really is, and the Self-Rider as well, I guess. They traded everything for that Self-Rider, and they can't really use it. But oh, Lunar New Year now has it worse, as they have also broken apart and lost their weapon. though Witch Doctor is barely moving at this point. And I mean, both bots are barely moving. They still have some movement, but Lunar New Year now on its what's left of its face, and the countdown is on. This has truly been one of the fights of all time, and the victory will go to Witch Doctor. Well, we had a pretty interesting start to this fight. The wedge of Lunar New Year came off, but Lunar New Year countered back by immediately breaking Witch Doctor's face off. And there was a little bit of, well, a couple more shots from Lunar New Year before their frame eventually gave in, though not before the other parts of Witch Doctor's wedge came off. As you can see the crack there, and it's gone. The Lunar New Year was broken apart. Witch Doctor was able to get a little bit more control, flip. Witch Doctor was able to get a little more control, flip Lunar New Year over, and take the win. You thought we'd be done after 8 fights, didn't you? Well, no, we're going through the entire first round, all 16 fights of them in this episode, and that's a pattern that's gonna remain the same for the rest of the tournament. Now we see Ripperoni taking on Sunflower, both bots who lost in Challengers. Ripperoni was the only rookie to not win the Challengers fight, getting mauled by Deep 6, while Sunflower got beaten pretty badly by Minotaur. These two bots do not have a lot of fights between them, so... And Ripperoni has the least fights out of any bot, and also the worst record. The only bot to have a 0% win rate, but that could change pretty quickly here. Let's find out if they can do that down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots spinning off 2 big vertical spinners, and already Ripperoni has lost its advantage in the ground game. Not a good start, and now Ripperoni is not looking very healthy at all, upside down, and it looks like they've taken some serious damage to the weapon mount. Well, there goes the weapon entirely. They definitely took some damage to that weapon mount, and now they are basically defenseless. I don't know if they can still drive, but Sunflower is looking to make sure that they cannot. And it appears that they will, in fact, get that, as they will split Ripperoni in 2.
10, 9,
well, that's a great
8,
performance for
7,
Sunflower, and
6,
they will indeed
5,
move
4,
to 1-0.
3, 2, 1, knockout.
This is what Sunflower is supposed to look like. Big, scary vert, dealing a ton of damage early, and just ripping bots apart and sending them flying. But Ripperoni was on the other end of that, and they took an absolute beating. Sunflower able to take a pretty easy and convincing knockout here and advance 1 step closer to surviving, while Ripperoni still has 0 wins to its name. Now we shall see another rematch between Arctic Wind and Jackpot. Jackpot was able to take the win in that one, and Arctic Wind never really recovered from that. I mean, Arctic Wind has never done well, I believe. If the overall record is right, they are the worst bot to have a win. They are 1-9, if that is correct, and their Season 3 finish was in the Desperado 8-9 match. They didn't even make it to the quarterfinals, they just lost instantly to Fossilized. I'm sure Fossilized is a very capable bot, but they still didn't make it far. Well, Jackpot also kind of fell off, falling to 1-3 to end their Season 3 career. But they're looking to continue their win streak against Arctic Wind, while Arctic Wind is looking for revenge. Let's see who can take the win down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Jackpot getting underneath Arctic Wind and already ripping off the wedge. Not a good start for Arctic Wind. Jackpot continuing to go on the offensive here. Well, Arctic Wind able to get back up, but Jackpot has the low ground, flipping Arctic Wind back. While those things are able to prevent from getting stuck, that is not. Jackpot got them in the screws, and now they are stuck again. Arctic Wind is getting counted out for who knows how manyth time, and that will be their 10th loss of their career. Well, this fight went pretty similarly to how it went the first round. Jackpot was able to rip the wedge off and then get Arctic Wind stuck. Jackpot moves to 1-0, while Arctic Wind takes yet another L and falls to 0-1. Our next fight is Biohazard versus Retrograde. It's kind of shocking to see Biohazard here. Made this round of 16 in back-to-back seasons, Season 1, Season 2. But Season 3, they got kind of annihilated. I believe they lost to Fusion this season, got annihilated by Monochrome, and even lost to Nemesis. Losing to a bot you're supposed to hard counter, even if it is the channel mascot, is certainly not a good look. And Retrograde seems pretty well designed to take them on with those cheese slope forks. But Retrograde is very fragile, and Biohazard is pretty dang durable of overall chassis strength. Let's see who will win this fight down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Retrograde using those forks to great effect early, getting underneath Biohazard. Not a good start for the veteran here, as Retrograde is already trying to push them into the screws, and they do so. Oh, but Biohazard escapes, but immediately gets flipped over. Now Biohazard can self-right, but they do so into the screws, and they are wedged deep in there. Now Biohazard is able to escape, but still upside down. Retrograde in complete control of this fight right now. Biohazard struggling to get anything going on. Now they self-right, but Retrograde has those forks in position, ready to get underneath. Yep, and they do so again. Biohazard up on the screws, up on the screws now, deep embedded in them now. Biohazard once again, look, yep, they do get out, but Retrograde just lifts them up and gets them out of the arena. Oh, what a dominant performance by Retrograde. He had the perfect matchup here, and they took full advantage of it. That's throwing Biohazard in the screws time and time again. And able to get underneath them at every opportunity. Biohazard was either in the screws or upside down for 90% of that fight, and there was nothing they could do. Retrograde took complete control of this fight, and thus got the well-deserved win. The sophomore bot from last season, and it takes the win, while the veteran Biohazard, who has made the round of 16 twice, falls to 0-1 in the Losers League. They have to figure out what the heck is going on and find a way to stem the tide. Now, we see Nightmare take on Hypershock. Now, Nightmare was never good. I mean, it lost in the Desperado quarterfinals, I believe, to Bite Force, who was Bite Force's only win of the season, by the way. But Hypershock has just gone down and up to the ceiling and right back down to the floor. They started their career going 0-3 in Season 1, but in Season 2 they completely rebuilt and turned it around, making it all the way to 4th place in Season 2, all the way to the semi-finals for losing to Sawblaze and Mannerheim. But Season 3, I mean, I don't know, they've had tougher opponents. I guess Titan, Whiplash, and Bloodsport are some brutal opponents. And so, not too surprising that they went 1-3, but still, from 4th place to 1-3, Hypershock has to figure out whether their Season 2 run was legitimate or it was a fluke. And Nightmare, it's a pretty good opponent to start with. Hypershock's main weakness is the durability of its weapon, and Nightmare is well poised to exploit that, but also Hypershock is pretty dang durable, and Nightmare has no wedge. Let's see what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Oh, great shot by Hypershock, and now it's wearing Nightmare as a hat. well, Hypershock easily able to get Nightmare off. A Nightmare teetering on the edge of being flipped over, but able to back away just in time. But now breaking Hypershock's weapon. What did they say? Hypershock's weapon durability was its greatest weakness, and Nightmare could easily exploit it. But now Nightmare is upside down because they can't self-right, and Hypershock had the ground game advantage. What did I say? Perfectly, as I said. It's almost like I know my own bots and watch and actually film these fights before recording these voiceovers. Anyways, Hypershock takes a pretty easy win as expected, and is on a decent track to surviving. As for Nightmare, they just ran to a tough opponent. Hopefully they can find some easier opponents later on. Next up Endgame versus Deep Six. The last time we saw Endgame, it had a brand new redesign, and immediately lost to Hydra. Well, it didn't perform terribly though, so who knows, maybe it still has some potential. It's a very untested design, so only had one fight. You know, Deep Six was the only bot to defend its position in Challengers, knocking out Ripperoni. However, it was not really able to follow this up, going 1-3 in Season 3. Now both bots fighting for their existence here, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, Endgame could get underneath Deep Six could send Endgame flying, who knows? Let's find out down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots spitting up their weapons, and already Deep Six tears into Endgame's weapon, ripping chunks off. And there goes one of the wedges of Endgame. Oh, and they get sent flying. And now they can't self-right for that position, but Deep Six decides to help them out for some reason. Now trying to get them into the screws. And that's... yeah, Deep Six can't really turn when its weapon is spinning. That just kind of stops the weapon entirely. And now they are laying some decent shots though, and able to rip off the other set of wedges on Endgame, those as set of forks, and flip Endgame over again. Deep Six on a pretty good performance, but they are starting to break apart. That reliability is a major problem, as it always has been. Oh, great shot there, and that's gonna take some, even more chunks off of Endgame, and that looks like it's the end for the weapon. Deep Six racking up damage. Oh, well, there goes the self-righter, and all Deep Six needs to do is flip Endgame over, and they have done so, and that
10,
will be the
9,
fight.
8,
Deep
7,
Six takes
6,
the knockout
5,
and advances to
4,
1-0.
3, 2, 1, knockout.
That fight was pretty much just Deep Six landing brutal uppercuts with that weapon, or it's really more of punches more than anything. I think Endgame just slowly got ripped apart, with bit by bit flying off, until Deep Six eventually broke off the self-righter and then flips Endgame over. Endgame falls to 0-1, while Deep Six will take a confident victory, rising to 1-0. Now we will see Black Dragon taking on Fossilized. Fossilized would eventually lose to the bot that defeated Black Dragon in Desperado. That would be Snowfall. And Fossilized, I would say, really proved that it was a capable bot in the Desperado. I mean, and for a decent amount of that fight, I believe it had a pretty good performance. It had control over Snowfall, and obviously, in its past 3 fights, Arctic Wind, Thunderbolt, and Subzero in the semis, as it took control and dominated those fights. But Black Dragon it's just an old design. It just can't really keep up with it with much anymore. Sure, it's gotten some wins, but it's not the worst spot out there. But yeah, it's just not them anymore. I don't really wasn't good in the first place on this channel, but it's definitely not good now after losing in the Desperado quarterfinals. Let's see if they can pull off a miracle here against Fossilized down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Black Dragon spins up, and Fossilized pretty expectedly gets underneath Black Dragon, now trying to get them into the screws, and they do so. Fossilized executing its game plan perfectly so far. It's already damaged both the forks of Black Dragon and has taken control. Well, they're clearly at the ground damage, but Black Dragon manages to somehow get underneath. I think they hit the jaw, and then that knocked up Fossilized enough for Black Dragon to outwedge them. But Fossilized has quickly turned things around, gotten back underneath Black Dragon, and getting them into the screws again. That is by far the most effective hazard in the arena. I mean, there's really isn't too much else. I mean, there's the pulverizer, but just like real life, that does nothing. And the pit, and it's kind of hard to get bots into the pit. Now Black Dragon gets embedded into the screws, and Fossilized with a great bite here. Those teeth working perfectly. There goes one wedge of Black Dragon, and they are really struggling here. I mean, what did you expect? Black Dragon is a kind of an ancient design, while Fossilized is the newest bot at time of filming. And it's not the newest bot as the time of recording this. That would go to Bad Revolution from who will be in Battle of the Builders, but that is the newest bot that is currently competing, and Black Dragon in the screws and out of the arena. Yep, that was exactly as we expected the fight to go. Fossilized got underneath and just took complete control of the fight. I mean, there wasn't really much that Black Dragon was going to be able to do with Fossilized. They were able to get one shot in, one push, which is better than I expected, to be completely honest. And yeah, they Fossilized just exactly as they intended. Fossilized is can probably, I would say, could definitely hang with some of the better bots in this field. I mean, it's tough. It's got good ground game. It's got a good weapon, and I mean, this was really just a gamey win for them to test to see if a bot still actually works. And yep, it does. Fossilized advanced to 1-0, and they're definitely going to be hungry for better opponents to prove that they do belong in the competition. Our penultimate fight of the episode sees Bombshell taking on Icewave. Bombshell went to surprising 0-4 in Season 3. Yeah, they haven't done the best overall, but they've done okay, and they even had a tournament appearance, but falling off to 0-4, not very good. Icewave, on the other hand, lost in Challengers to Big Dill of all bots. They did, in fact, lose that fight. And so they're down here. I mean, they started off being the lowest ranked 3-1 bot in a tournament back in Season 1, and they've kind of just fallen off since, and now these two taking each other on to try and get a win. But Bombshell, really, it's Big Wedge, so which Icewave does not like because its weapon is not the most powerful. Let's go down to the arena to see if that interaction does in fact take place, or if Icewave can find a way to work around it. Let the bot battle begin. Icewave trying to spin up. There we go. And there's a little deflection from Bombshell. Not much. Oh, Bombshell somehow flips Icewave over entirely and throws him out of the arena. Yeah, Bombshell Big Wedge does in fact work. Icewave got completely flipped over, which I was kind of surprised that happened, and Bombshell just threw him out of the arena. It's time for the final fight of the first round. The Season 1 champion, Bite Force, taking on RedBlow. Now, RedBlow has had some decent performances in Season 1, Season 2. They actually made it to the tournament in Season 2, but were quickly knocked out by Extinguisher. This season, Season 3, they have not had that kind of success. Power Creep seems to be finally catching up with them, and they seem to be getting thrown out of the arena into the pit a lot more, while Bite Force has had such a fall from grace. In Season 1, they went 8-1, and they probably should have gone 9-0, realistically speaking, because they kind of had a fluke loss against Bronco. But Season 2, they went 2-3, kind of bad, but at least they made the tournament. Season 3, they lost in the Desperado semifinals to Snowfall, and the main cause of that, those forks. Bite Force does not scrape the ground, so it has to use hinged forks in order to touch the ground, and the thing about hinged forks is they're bad. We have seen this over and over again, and the mounts are not durable. RedBlow is very durable, so Bite Force is gonna have to not avoid the front, because if they go to the front, there's a chance that they just straight up lose the fight there. But will Bite Force begin its march to redemption here, or will RedBlow stop the former champion in its tracks? Let's find out down in the arena. Bite Force is using those 3D printed forks for this fight, which are also not very good, by the way. And let the bot battle begin. RedBlow, neither Bite Force getting underneath. But now Bite Force gets underneath, but they've already lost two of the forks, and RedBlow slams them into the wall, breaking off the other forks. And now Bite Force has no way of really doing anything. It's a good, and they're on their head.
10,
Bite Force
9,
it's not good. It might be Joe for folks.
4,
The Bite Force is just not good anymore.
knockout.
It seems to be just getting Joe over for Bite Force, but at least RedBlow was one of the better bots in the field of the Losers League, so hopefully Bite Force maybe get some easier opponents in the lower parts of the bracket. But this was just an embarrassing performance. RedBlow was able to take out Forks and then just flip Bite Force over just like that. Just a complete embarrassment for the former champ.